Welcome back to Let's Play Pokemon Jesus Christ. With the headphones actually on, you know? Like I said, I keep the headphones muted and the microphone, you know, I comment through. But I keep the headphones muted because when it's like capturing the recording itself on my capture card, the freaking audio sounds distorted half the time, you know? So it's just like, yeah. Also, one thing that's always continues to bug me is the record quality. I don't feel like it's that noticeable in, say, this game and Wind Waker. I think it's because they're so kind of light and colorful. I mean, it's there. What I'm referring to is that kind of light blur that annoyingly appears in my capture card recordings. It's like I was randomly looking through my Happy New Year montage videos, and like the one back in the day that had Final Fantasy VIII in it, so that was around about 2014 to 15, I think it was. And the video quality on that looked much better. It was shit because it was a PS1 game, so the graphics weren't exactly, you know, HD superb, but they looked fine. There was none of that annoying blur. It's just the hell of that. I hate when that happens. Anyways, it was perfect. Well, it wasn't perfect, but it was alright. It was decent enough. Whenever I record off a capture card, there's always that light blur. It's very noticeable in games that don't have this kind of colorfulness to it. Like Shadows of Memories had that issue. Resident Evil had that issue. Final Fantasy X can have that issue despite being a bit more colorful, I suppose. Well, all of them can, really, but it just bugs me whenever I see it, that blur. It's like when I'd be doing those Vocaloids random clips I make, and like, as I record them and then edit them, I'll always notice that blur on the characters, and I'll be like, God damn it, why? I think a similar thing happened back in the day when I used to use a DVD recorder to record these, which was not, well, yeah, it was more of a pain in the ass than using the capture card, but both ways are kind of a pain in the ass. I would get another capture card, maybe someday. I'd like looked up the capture card that I've got, because I forgot how much I paid for it. But it's a cheap one indeed, you know. Like, you got the expensive ones that cost 100 or more, and this is not one of them. So, yeah. But it gets the job done. It's just that blur is annoying the shit out of me every time I see it. It's like I've taken my glasses off, you know, and that freaking blur is there. That's probably why, like with a lot of my older videos, how I didn't notice the video quality, because my eyesight was shit to begin with. But now I've got glasses, it's a bit more noticeable. Anyways, Mount Psych. Well, you can probably tell by the title. We're gonna pirate out. It's just like the previous part. You said you're going to Mount Battle, and then you discovered how to use the Barnsley card. So you took like two parts. That's had to be, well, one part that was split into two because of that, I guess. And now you're just putting on hold again. Well, yes, you see, it's because I've been playing a bit more of Alpha Sapphire, so I feel like I've got to do a bit of filler, because most of this part will probably be, you know, going over the Alpha Sapphire, because, wow, in total there's 160 pictures I think I took, which is ridiculous. So enjoy the music. I finally got to Mauville, and I even defeated Watson, and I like finished off by stepping outside of Mauville, and that's how far I got in the game so far since last time. But, you see, Mauville was, kind of very different to how I remember it. It's basically a giant freaking... It's not quite like... I don't think any video game can really capture the size of a city. I think the Grand Theft Auto games, they kind of handle that a bit well, but cities are still freaking ginormous. Usually. Even small cities are pretty big. But this game handles the city kind of differently to how the original did. But we'll get to that when we get to that. Okay, first image, where is it? Okay, so approach the Aqua Goons. They were like, let's keep going for Route 110 and head for Mount Chimney, which will probably maybe be in the next part. Maybe, when I ramble on about it and play the game a bit more. But, you know, I still got Venendorf Town to look at, and I'll probably, well, obviously gonna look different. Then you got this Pokefan with a Smoochum, is that... I'm trying to think what that is. Actually, is that a folder? It might be. And old Sayri Roltz up against a Minin. I think it's probably Minin. I've been called him Minin or something like that for ever now, but really, it's Plusle and Minin, really, probably. I mean, they got a plus and minus symbols. That should give it away, give the hints, but no, think about it. It took me freaking until, like, not a few parts ago in this LP for me to realize that Raikou is called, Raikou probably, rather than Raikou. I mean, I don't know where the Ku came from when I frickin' see its name. But then again, if you see my Digimon World LP, I've mentioned, like, actually, I can't even remember. I think even in that LP, I kept calling sirloin Cerulean for whatever reason. I don't know why. Maybe it's a word I'd never actually heard spoken before, or simply a word I haven't heard spoken enough to have known the pronunciation. Either way it goes, there are words where I won't know the pronunciation even if it's obvious. But anyways, as outside the Trickmaster's house, entered it, and it says, you're being watched, right? Do you see anyone there? And look at this next image. How did you know I conceal myself beneath the desk? You're sharp. Is he, like, invisible? But then when he appears, he doesn't look so invisible, does he? The Trickmaster! Ha 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 ha! Glad to meet you! And he's got some nice trees set up here. It almost looks like, well, is it a traditional tatami mat room? It does look like it. It's like, I'll just plant a bunch of trees in here, I've got plenty of room. Very nice setup you got here, man. It looks nice. I mean, it was the same as it was in the original, but you didn't have all this greenery and trees. It wasn't quite as detailed, because of the limitations. And this chick right here has Lord Sludge Jr. I couldn't believe my eyes. And she's all like, why are you so serious? I'm serious because I need the Lord Sludge. But listen to her, look at this, man. She's like, I never get tired of hacking and slashing. Well, I couldn't be taken the wrong way at all. No, not one bit. This is more the trees. The old HM slave, the Zigzagoon that I named Sandy, to the rescue. And you see this kid right here? He's just like, well, roll on to the next picture, you'll see what I mean. I wandered into this weird house by accident. How do you wander into anyone's house by accident? Well, actually, maybe in like a city or something like that, or a town that has like, apartment buildings and loads of shopping areas around. You accidentally walk into someone's apartment and it's like, whoops, sorry, but this is in the middle of nowhere. More or less. It's on the road between Slakeport and freaking Mauville. Well, to be honest, he's probably much like me and just walks into everyone's houses in the game, but still. How the hell did he get lost? And then he's like, I lost my way. I lost the battle and I'm even more lost. I can't get out. And look at that ledge beside him. That ledge, as I prove in this image here, you can just jump down and walk all the way back around to the entrance. This kid did not really think to do anything, did he? It's not exactly a big place. And the Trickmaster's password, of course, is Trickmaster is wonderful because he's a narcissist, probably. He wants to be complimented on his traps. That's exactly what he wants, isn't it? It took me all night to plant those trees. And that makes me think, did he literally plant seeds for the trees, or did he just cut down a bunch of small trees and just shove them up into his house and just set them up? It's like, okay, and what am I gonna do about the grass? Oh, fuck it, let's paint the floor or something. I don't know. Scrub that smug smirk from your face. It's much too early to think you won. I'll make new tricksters stump you. I will. You may mock me only when you're done. So, there's a lesson to be learned from here. If you can complete someone's goals, or whatever they give to you, only after you've completed them can you officially mock them. And I don't think I've taken a picture of me creeping up on a Pokemon, but that's a feature in this game. There'll be occasionally a Pokemon who will pop up its tail. In this case, like a kind of glowing green orb thing, because it's a Pokemon that doesn't have a tail. Can you guess what the Pokemon is? Well, we'll get to that. It's just like, who's that Pokemon? Because it looks nothing like the Pokemon that it actually is. But this is how you can actually creep up on Pokemon by like lightly moving the directional pad or the stick, and it'll just like creep up on it, just like, yeah. And then you can engage in battle with a Pokemon that's slightly tougher. It's the same Pokemon that you can find in the area, but it's slightly tougher and might have different moves. But anyways, if you guessed that Pokemon was a Voltorb, then you were right. If you thought it was anything else, you were wrong. How weird. And that area to the left of the Trickmaster's house, it honestly looks picture perfect like it did in the originals. This does. It looks fancier because of the graphics, but it looks identical. I can recognize it. You should owe me a picture of that and be like, oh yeah, I remember that route. It's not unrecognizable. It's very recognizable. And watering some berries. Don't forget when to pick berries. You gotta plant some berries and you gotta water that shit. And it's a Roman lady who's like, I'm gonna send out my Roselia. And I was like, I've got Combuskin. What do you think you're going up against here? And she's all like, you weren't led astray by our aroma. I just like the updated art styles. And what? Oran is evolving! Congratulations, Oran evolved into Mightyena. And then I was like, this is the interview thing that I mentioned. Let's see here. Powerful kicks, that's what I typed in. But it shows you can type in anything in this game. You could be like, you're an asshole, if you could fit that into it. And you'd be like, what a wonderful interview. This interview gets 95 points. We look forward to something. I had to take the pictures quick because it was auto-scrolling, essentially. Just like 95 points for simply saying, how do you feel about your Combuskin? Powerful kicks. Wow, 95 points for you, sir. And this one is weird. Emmy completes you. Emmy supports you. You can't really see it fully because, again, like, I took the picture real quick. Michael, you really put a lot into that name, didn't you? You may be wondering, what the fuck's all that about? Well, I caught an Electrike, and I was like, they even commented how long it took me to, like, come up with a name as well. Just like, are they stalking me? Because I caught this Pokemon, right? I didn't get no interview or anything. They just knew I caught a Pokemon and gave it a nickname. I was like thinking, I was like, Electrike. I saw its Pokedex entry about it being fast, and I was like, how about I nickname it? It's a female one, so nickname it Emmy from kind of what Shoujo, because she likes to run. Electrike likes to run. Put two and two together, and there's that. And they somehow, these people got onto that, and it's like, oh, we know about that. We are like the NSA of the Pokemon world. They know everything you do. And then double battles don't have that split screen thing. They're kind of more straightforward. It's kind of like how it is in Sun and Moon, except you don't see that bit around them on the ground. It's kind of actually a stand in the landscape or whatever it is. Without having to have like, just like, okay, when your Pokemon go out, they'll destroy some of the land to make like a circle so that they can stand on, because they can't touch grass apparently. And then they're just like, we lost, sis. We got 2 Pikachu dolls, but we got a Blustle and a Maiden instead. And this Pokefan guy is just like, ha 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 ha. I wonder if anyone's gone to like a convention of some sort dressed as the Pokefan guy. Just like, what the fuck are you cosplaying as? The Pokefan. All I need is a shirt, a goofy smile, and a heart badge of a Pokeball. And this guy, man, my delightful Pokemon looks darling even when it's fainted. Dude, get it to a Pokemon Center, you idiots! I mean, like, figure that in context, man. That's like, I mean, he loves these Pokemon, right? He loves his Skitty. So imagine if it was a kid. Oh, my kid's been knocked out. Oh, they look simply darling. It's like, get that kid to a hospital, you tit. Seriously, you madman. I'm getting frustrated. That's it. Battle me. I think he's frustrated because the only Pokemon he had is Magikarp. I mean, look at that. Didn't stand a chance. That's probably why he's frustrated. I lost it. I'm even more annoyed now. I'm still boiling mad. Grr. Well, hop in the water, sir. Who knows, maybe he'll come across a tentacle instead. I mean, he gets stung, but still. Look at this. It's the same lady that I showed earlier, and she's already battle ready. I mean, my god, I love this game for that. In Pokemon Sun and Moon, no rematches. Maybe Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon or wherever. I haven't got any of those. Maybe they have a rematch system, but seriously, that's one of my biggest disappointments with those games. This one is like, no, it's like the original ones. You get rematches or trainers, but it's freaking so fast. They'll be like, battle me again, bitch, within freaking seconds. Well, minutes at the very least, you know. So I like that. You know, there's also a verse seeker that I get later on in here, but I think it's for using to battle other players though in this version. Also, the road to Mauville, that kid was literally running around. I'm surprised he didn't stop to battle Pokemon along the way. Although he does comment here, I found some cool Pokemon in the tall grass around here, so he inevitably came across Pokemon. And he's gone Auron, which is not a Pokemon native to the area. So that makes no sense. Hey Michael, it's been ages! And then she was talking about her father. He's like, well, she's like, he said that there used to be way more kinds of Pokemon than there are now. How does that make any sense at all? How? It's like, oh yeah, back in the day there used to be 150 Pokemon. Now there's like over 700. I think even over 800 now. This is before that. I mean, there's more Pokemon than ever, May. How about a little battle? And she, along with a certain other character who will be seen in this part, was also one of the only other character I've seen so far that gets, like, you know, instead of a character portrait, they actually get the in-game kind of animation thing going on. You're challenged by Pokemon Trainer May. And look, cosplayed Pikachu in battle. Didn't do too well. Well, she didn't do too well, because I was like, oh, water type sent out, and I was like, oh wait, spark ground type. Pikachu! Pikachu didn't get knocked out at the very least, but almost did. So I sent out Mirabee to kick its ass. Then she sent out a Slugma, and I was like, Mirabee, kick its ass, and well, that was that. I think she might have had another Pokemon. Then she's all like, yikes, you're better than I expected. Well, you've been busy training too, haven't you? And I'm like, not really, no. I just play the game every couple of days, every now and then for an hour or two. And I just battle my way through the area, really. See you later then, Michael. Let's meet again. And this guy. Could I see your Pokemon? Just one look, please. And he's a collector, and with that face. No, and he's only got 2 Pokemon, so at least like 4 of those Pokeballs are ordinary Pokeballs. He would clearly, like, if he was in this game right here, he would totally join either Cypher, well, probably not Cypher necessarily. He'd probably join Team Snag'em, though. It's like, yes, I want all the rare Pokemon in the world! I wanted to complete my collection. He wanted my Pokemon, man, and you can piss off. But what he says here, when I see a Pokemon that I don't know, my passion as a collector is ignited. I can relate to that, you know. Even if you see a generic Pokemon, if you've never seen the Pokemon in question, it interests you even if it's something bland. It's like when I first played Pokemon Moon. Like, I've already forgotten the name of the generic bird Pokemon, but just seeing that for the first time, it's one of those things, you know, where it's just like, that's nice. But, you know, once you've actually seen it a million times, you're just kind of like, that one again. But there's over 800 Pokemon now, probably, so there's plenty of Pokemon. But, actually, I think there might even still be Pokemon I haven't actually seen, or at the very least seen in battle anyway, because, you know, like, even in Sun and Moon, where it's like, oh, you know, it's Generation 7, when I go to the battle tree, they'd always use the same generic, overpowered Pokemon. Just like, spice it up, give me something different, you bastards. I want to see new Pokemon that aren't new, but a Pokemon I haven't seen because I didn't play for Generation 5 and 6. Anyways, more of the road. And this psychic guy challenged me to a battle. He can levitate his balls. Well, probably can't. Oh, wait. Oh yeah, Psychic Edwards. Just made me think of that South Park episode. Wasn't that guy called John Edward or something like that? Where it's just like, you're the biggest douche in the galaxy, in all the universe. There's no bigger douche than you, or however that goes. It's like he's probably just throwing that Pokeball and just pretending to levitate it. I failed to prophesize my own demise. And I finally caught a Gulpin, okay, Sludge Jr., but it's a male in this one, while it's a female in this LP. But still, Lord Sludge! And I named it so, and I could even put a space between it because it gave me enough text space to do that. Could have even added an exclamation mark to it, that's how much space it had. And right near Mauville there. And right here is the entrance to Mauville. You'd be like, what the fuck, if you played the original but not the re-released updated versions. You'd be like, this isn't how I remember Mauville. What is this? And then you enter, it's like, holy shit, it's an indoor city. Oh my god. And it's big. It's like a freaking shopping center. Literally, it is. It's a shopping center. And on the second floor is like a residential area that I can't access. Maybe you get access to it later on. But like, second floor is like, you can only really use the stairs to get to the roof. It is quite a big place. And he's like, wow, so this is Mauville City. Yeah, it's way different than I remember it. Look at that map. Mauville City, the bright and shiny city of fun. I mean, that map doesn't do it justice. It's pretty big. A mellow blend of coffee and music, Crooner's Cafe. There were just so many different places to visit, man. That's why I ended up taking so many pictures. And there's the inside, and this guy was like, the thing is we have no students right now, and that's why I'm drinking a lot of fresh water here. I like that little pause in the text there. Just like, oh, is he drinking alcohol? No, it's just fresh water. Because, you know, we gotta keep it PG here. Now, what difference would it make? Well, maybe it's like, now we don't want kids being like, oh, what's alcohol? Even though they know what alcohol is, probably. In fact, a lot of kids tend to freaking be drinking at early ages anyway. Not that it's a good thing, though. Thank you for your support over the years. Good game, Mauville Game Corner owner. Yeah, that place got shut down. Probably for the same reason. I used to run a business here, but I had to close it down for reasons you don't need to know. Which is exactly my point. It's like, look, man, we were doing, like, it was a gambling place, right? We had slot machines and shit, and it's just like, in today's society, people were like, it was kind of frowned upon for gambling, so we had to shut it down, you know, and it's a shame. I mean, it wasn't really special, to be perfectly honest, but it was there, you know. Just like, we don't want our kids learning gambling. But what we will allow is microtransactions, where kids will pay money after money for cosmetic things. That's okay, but fake slot machines, that's a no. Anyway, well, he even says that. Anyway, I still have some prizes left. Do you think you can take care of them? Which, they were like, dolls of the starter Pokemon in the game. Thank you, I can tell they are happy too, even though they are just plush dolls. I mean, imagine if he gave you the free starter Pokemon, and just like, holy shit. But no, just plushy versions. People used to come to my place and play games like crazy. Good times. Ah, times change. Now everything's all PC and shit. I can't even start up my own gambling place without people being like, think of the children! I mean, imagine if they did have like a gambling game released on a Nintendo console. That'd be like, I've seen plenty of like, you know, gambling type games like this, like, you know, like, what was it called? Vegas Stakes shit like that, you know? Never played them, but I've seen playthroughs of them. But just like, they had loads of shit like that on the freaking Super Nintendo, it seems. But nowadays, it's like, no, that's kind of frowned upon nowadays, you know. But it's just like microtransactions, oh, yeah, that's fine. But imagine them combined into two. It's just like, okay, how about we make like a slot machine video game where you have to pay real money for it to be like, that's fucking stupid. Anyways, this plaza area is quite nice. It's like right in the center of it all. Has a Pokemon Center and the Pokemon, very nice. And it has this square tower, which I think is like connected to Kalos or the Unova region, I can't remember which. But like I said, I've never been, so I can't really comment much on it. The second floor here is the high-class apartment complex called Mauville Hills. Yeah, and I can't access it yet. Or maybe even ever. Hey, you're cool, like you are totally my BFF. Yeah, just totally. It's like, she asked if I like roller coasters. I was like, not really. She's like, how uncool? They talk to her immediately again. She's like, do you like roller coasters? Like, yeah. She's like, cool! Not a big fan of roller coasters. You know, motion sickness, don't like it. Hi, were you surprised by the size of Mauville City? I sure was. Oh, powers are mysterious powers. You can use them from the PSS, and I have no idea what the fuck they are, even though they've explained it to me. Is it one of those things that was introduced in Generation 5 or 6, and they simply didn't bother to explain it all that well? Because they're just like, oh, we assume that you've been playing every generation, like, one by one, so you know everything. It's like, when they hand you, like, the Mega Evolution stuff, so you just assume you already played whenever generation has brought that into it. It's like, we'll assume you know how to use it. Have you been to Rydal Cycles yet? No. And there's the elevator that apparently takes you to Mauville Hills, which is the apartment place. I mean, I've seen people on the other side of that, so there must be a, like, point in the game where you get access to the elevator. And then you got this place, which is, essentially, this is like ONS in a way, this place. This is a studio for, like, all the stuff. Also reminds me of the one in Pokemon Colosseum and the... I remember there was one in Soul Silver as well. Only the one in Soul Silver was freaking huge. Had a lot of floors. Welcome to TV Mauville. Look at all our desktops. Look, I'm in the studio. I'm going to be the editor, the producer, or whatever. And then I'm just gonna sit down and do some editing over here. And now I'm in the studio. There's nobody here. Don't trip over anything. There's expensive cameras and stuff. And it's just I'll just walk over here just to see the place. And you can even sit down at the table there, just like a reporter kind of thing. And you can even read the script, which the news people would be reading. The Mauville food quarter is open for battle every day of the week. It's like, cut, redo it. I'm sorry. The Mauville food quarter is open. Ah, shit, I fucked up. Cut, do it again. The Mauville food court is open for battle every day of the week. Perfect. Now moving on. Hanging around and doing nothing is like the most leisure activity in all Hoenn. As I thought, you tell me in this big ass place, that's the most interesting thing to do. It's just kind of do nothing. And then it made me think, that's exactly what life is, isn't it? Usually. It's you see groups of people hanging out. I mean, that's how hanging out with people usually goes, isn't it? I mean, sometimes, maybe people hang out with I remember, you just see groups of people just doing nothing, essentially. Just sitting around a town center or something like that. Just sitting around. There'll be a group of people. They're all together, but they don't feel like they're all together because they're just messing around on their phones. Just this is how we hang out, okay? What? Go to the arcade and play games, or we're not kids anymore. We're teenagers or young adults. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna sit around, stand around, and do nothing. You'll even see us in restaurants and stuff. And we'll just be sat at a table, all on our phones and shit, and we won't be interacting with each other at all. We'll be just checking our Facebook status, or Instagram, or whatever shit, whatever is cool nowadays. I don't know. That is essentially how things are, isn't it? Hanging out. What does it mean to hang out? Nothing. Do nothing. Just talk, just chat, or just be around people and just kind of browse on your phone and pretty much do nothing. And this is one of the many shops there. I forget what this guy sells. I don't think he even bought anything from him because I think it requires points, which I had, but I wasn't interested in purchasing anything. Then this place, what is this place? You got a chair and a chair. Is it gonna sell chairs? And it was the massage made your Pokemon a little bit more friendly towards you, it seems. It's a massage parlor for Pokemon. I remember freaking years ago when I originally played Pokemon Colosseum. Not as a Let's Play, but just playing it. And for some reason, I couldn't figure out that massage was the word that we used for those cologne cases or whatever the fuck they were. I don't know how I didn't notice that all those years ago. And there's another shop that specializes in mirrors, none that I can buy apparently. But they did mention 3 legendary Pokemons I kinda know of, but sort of don't because I didn't play a generation they were introduced from, so maybe you get that mirror at some point. Or maybe it's an event Pokemon, wouldn't be surprised. And then it's this old guy was hitting on this old woman, so keep that in mind with this dialogue. My Pokemon and I love to go out and dig for secret bases. He's hitting on this other old chick here, man, and he's saying something like that. He's just oh, and what I wouldn't give to dig in your secret base, man. Seriously, what the hell? And then this guy just ran up to me for no apparent reason, gave me a nugget, and he's like, a mighty fine nugget, all yours now. Then he ran off, came back in, and he's like, there's nothing funny about nuggets. And then he wandered off. It was what's that all about? Is he an eating joke or something? It's oh, nuggets. Nothing funny about nuggets. Is it balls? Was there a testicle joke or something? I don't know. And look at this guy, man. He's totally a serial killer. Raw talent standing before me. My phone went upside down there. Full of fear, yet shining brightly. He's looking at that chick over there with her mining. And he's saying that he's totally gonna kill her. Contest spectacular, or whatever. Maybe I could enter one. How do you feel about that mining? Positive, negative? Well, it's mining, so negative, isn't it? Oh yeah, by the way, this is the roof as well that I was talking about. It's very nice. Very, very nice. It's huge, though. It's pretty much the size of the bottom floor. Obviously, because it's the roof. And look at this freaking Rhyhorn here. He's like, holy shit, a Rhyhorn! Then you go up to him and find out it's not actually real. It has a note stuck on it that says the Rhyhorn rider is out of order. I like that little extra touch to the game there. Just like, no, we're gonna have like one of those rides you see outside of some supermarkets and stuff like that. We just like kids ride on like a freaking car or something like that. But it's a Rhyhorn. I didn't take a picture of it, but that kid mentioned this. Like, why not just ride on a real Pokemon? It's like, maybe that was foreshadowing for Pokemon Sun and Moon. Or maybe it was already a thing. Well, it definitely was. Because, like, you can fly in pretty much all, if not most, at the very least, of the Pokemon games. Anyways. Main series, anyway. This guy's like the super famous musician I mentioned, me. He handed me something and I forgot what it was. But he's apparently a famous musician. I wonder if he's bullshitting me or not. Now then, whippersnapper, get on that PSS and start handing out all powers. But I don't know how, Grandma. It's like you're not so hip with the hipsters. Well, whatever. You young whippersnapper, even I know that shit. And this place is huge. Look at the bottom floor. You can see the plaza from here. And this stall was unstalled. Nobody's there. Maybe at some point somebody will be. There's a guy there. There's a guy and his daughter there. There's like these battle places. Oh, speaking of which, I think I might have like skipped over one battle place because I think it was the battle court. I was like, nah, fuck that place. I can't be arsed. This place is already big enough as is. This is like the inverse battle area. And this guy's like, oh, a customer. Welcome to the inverse battle shop. Battle stop, not shop. And you see that Mauville there? Mauville and my Combuskin. And you notice how my Combuskin and the Null Pokemon are the only Pokemon conscious on my team, while he still has one of his Pokemon still there. Well, Inverse has it so that a super effective attack will suddenly become not very effective, and a not very effective move becomes super effective. And while I did well at first, he started to kick my freaking ass. He knocked out my Combuskin, and I had to use a revive. Because Combuskin was my only way of getting around this. Because, like, my Combuskin, you know, it's got, like, a fire attack, and, you know, it's got double kick. Those would be super effective in normal setting against a Mauville, but not here. But it did also have Peck, which would have been super effective in this case, but this Mauville is faster than it looks. And luckily, my Combuskin knew Quick Attack, so I kept hitting it with that, and eventually won. It was a hard-fought battle, to say the least. Tougher than the gym battles, that's for damn sure. You've mastered the Inverso Manic to such a high level. As a developer, I couldn't be happier. Although, in a more competitive scene, you'd get your ass kicked completely. And what? Sandy's evolving? Sandy the HM slave. Congratulations, your Sandy evolved into Linoon. Howdy there, trainer. Please wait. I'm gonna give you the verse secret, but I didn't take a picture of you giving that. It's like, how shady looking is that? Man dressed entirely in black sunglasses, just hands you something and this wanders off. Never to be seen again, seemingly. There's Rydal Cycles inside. I'll tell you what, I'll give you a bike. Seriously, Rydell, how has he not gotten out of business at this point? Gone out of business. He just gives away bikes for free, for crying out loud. If you get the urge to switch bikes, just come see me. I mean, he even offers to switch your bikes. He's the most generous bike shop salesman I've ever seen. Like, I think even in the, like, Kanto region ones with the bikes, they were at the very least like, no, you gotta have a ticket to, you know, get the bike, or you have to pay an extraordinary amount of money, which you can never probably get. But in this game, it's like, oh, I'll give you one for free. And then Wally's like, Michael! And he's like, and have a battle with me. And so, he went on to be the only other character so far that has an in-game kind of graphic thing for his fighting stance. So yeah, challenged by Pokemon trainer Wally, he still only has the Rolts. And he's like, wow, you really are strong, Michael. He wouldn't have stood a chance in any of those gyms with just Rolts. He needs to catch some more Pokemon. Michael, thank you. Being a trainer is tough, isn't it? And this bit here, so that's why, Michael, if it's all right, could I? And it gets cut off there because I didn't take a picture of the next thing he said, which was like, I mean, look at his pose and that dialogue. That could go any other way, but I'll just tell you now, it's not what you think it is. He said, "Could we be rivals?" But then he's like, forget I said anything, and ran off. But that could have been taken any other way without the context there, couldn't it? If you ever have the time, I'd love it if you'd stop by our home in F, which I will go to, probably. Well, obviously, at some point. And Watson's gym looks fancy, but I gotta say, well, I just now realized that that's like shaped into a plus symbol, so points there, Watson. But compared to the other two gyms so far, Watson's gym looks the most generic. And this guitarist guy is all like, that was plugged in amp stuff, overdriven electric, man. None of that clean tone shit. And his second floor, he only has 2 floors. He has the classic electric shit going on with the currents. And what, sire, is evolving? Congratulations, sire, evolved in Colia, at long last. And there's Watson. He's looking up just like, ooh, fancy. Oh, now, what are you doing here? Oh, it couldn't be that I'm a gym leader and you're a trainer, right? You are challenged by Leader Watson. His Voltorb was a pain in the ass because he kept using Volt Switch. I think that's what it's called. But I took a picture of Lord Sludge in action, even though it didn't stand a chance. And here's Siri, fully evolved, right before it got knocked the fuck out by this Voltorb. And then I proceeded to knock that Voltorb out at some point, but it happened off screen. Fine, I lost. I was electrified by you. Now, take this badge. And here's the badge. I received the Dynamo badge from Watson. I swell with optimism seeing a promising young trainer like you. And then, like, outside, see these Aqua Goons. It's like, where are we supposed to be? Where are we going again? I can relate to that. I was like, where am I going again with this game? And then the outside of Mauville, and that's it. Told you it was gonna be long. That's 43 minutes! But I'm not gonna have this part just be that. We're gonna the reason I'm here is not just to have this catchy beat in the background here, but also maybe battle someone here. You up for a battle, Gale? I redid my training, you see, so how about we battle? Alright, Gale, will show you my thoroughly refined power. This isn't Let's Play Pokemon Alpha Sapphire, you idiot. It's XT Gale of Darkness Blind! Except not so blind. You know what, notice how like the Pokemon are all in capital letters. Like, at what point did they finally decide this? Like, you know what, let's have the Pokemon have the first name capitalized, but everything else you know, not capitalize. I mean, when did they make that switch, that transition, you know? Well, I'm sorry you get your ass kicked out there, so, Man, we only have time for one battle here with this freaking bot. My god, editing's gonna suck. Putting every single one of those pictures in the right point in the video. God knows I wasn't paying attention to the level, to the CapsCard recording, so for all I know it could have even lagged at some point and I wouldn't even notice, probably. Levels! Wow, oh shit! How could you? Now what? That was totally outrageous. Wonderful! No, Siri was the one giving the Thunderbolts. The God of War was the one receiving it. Both technically the same Pokemon. Oh! Okay, wise guy. Shit. You know, at this point it's kind of redundant, you know, like, you know, whenever I send out Pokemon that have, like, got reference to episode 4, and I always insert those random clips on the side when they attack or get hit, knocked out and stuff like that, or power each other up. And I just keep thinking, you know what, why don't I make a separate video, like, simply that I can access those clips easily, rather than having to try to remember what part I took the clip from in my LP. But I just like, we're near the end of this LP, so it's kind of redundant at this point. You gotta be using them on Mauville. Well, whatever. Does it really matter? Not right now. Well, it does, in a way. But I've seen that, but who cares? But I can. I mean, have you any idea how much of a pain in the ass is to find the right clip every time sometimes? It's like, where was the Chie clip that I ever used? Like, oh, what part was that? Like, when she gets knocked out. It's like, I try to find, like, a part in the LP where I'm not talking over the character's dialogue as they get knocked out, or if they're attacking or powering up. And it's really hard to find an exact one. I mean, I've found them multiple times, and it's all the same ones, but I always forget which part it's from. Oh! My god, 49 minutes. Gale, you're pretty good. It takes time to beat me, Gale, after the training I redid. Whatever you say, Gale. This was a bot. What am I gonna title it? Obviously gonna be doing with Alpha Sapphire, because that was the majority of the video. Like, first 3 or so minutes had nothing to do with anything. Just me rambling before we set on out here. And then the rest of the part was Alpha Sapphire, followed by one battle. One exciting part. But anyways, see you next time, viewers. See you next time.